Have you ever just been chilling, time killing, and then all of a sudden you think, if a man with a microphone came up to me on the street and asked me questions such as,
what do you bring to the table?
What do you rate yourself out of 10?
Who do you think should pay on a first date?
Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Can't use 7.
Are you a virgin?
would I be prepared? Well, stress no more, my loves, because I have the answers. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're good, hope you're well. We're not gonna waste any time. Rate yourself out of 10. What do you bring to the table? Who should pay on the first date? These questions of this sort, they need to die. They need to die. In fact, I thought they had died. Turns out the algorithm was just respectfully not showing me such content such as that, but it's still around and it needs to die. But because it's not dead, you students, you need to be prepared, okay? So we are going to go through some FAQs. No. We're going to go through some FASQs, some frequently asked stupid questions. And we're going to answer them in what I think is the correct answer, whilst simultaneously explaining why they're stupid. All right, class is in session. Wait, don't take this too seriously, by the way. This is just banter. This is just jokes. You don't have to agree. But if you disagree, then you're stupid. I'm just kidding. Let's go. Now this might be the most stupidest of the, it's tied first. This one and the next one after this, stay tuned for that. They're tied for top stupidest. But before we get into how to answer this question, I'm going to give you a quick history lesson. The origin of this whole men rating women system or rate yourself system can be traced back to 2000 when two boys started a site called Hot or Not. Why did they start the site, I hear you ask? Well, they couldn't agree on the attractiveness of a passing woman, a woman passing on the streets. This in itself should tell you all you need to know about how seriously to take this question. At least if there was some sort of peer-reviewed study, some sort of scientific reason as to why we rate people out of 10, then, you know, maybe I'd hear it out. But no, there's nothing psychological. There's nothing scientific. There's nothing mathematic. But here is why it's extremely flawed. I am yet, to this day, I'm yet to find a video of somebody asking this question in good faith. The question is only ever asked to humble or embarrass or school someone. Meaning, boys and girls, you're already set up to fail when you ask this question. If I say 1, well, then I'm ugly and I don't deserve anything. If I say 10, I'm delusional and I need to bring myself back down to earth. If I say 7, we can't say 7. We're not allowed to say 7. Uncle Kevin said we can't say 7. If I say 5, then I'm average and I must accept average. I must not expect anything great, anything above average for the rest of my life. Because I am, by my own description, average. And if I say anything over 7, then once again, boys and girls, I am delusional. Secondly, it doesn't make sense because it doesn't take into account the psychology of attraction. Did you like the psychology of attraction? Now, if we're gonna lean into gender biases, then especially for women, it doesn't take into account the psychology of attraction. And there are studies that show that men and women look at attractiveness kind of differently. In this one study I found, the men tended to agree on the attractiveness of somebody because their scale, their whatever, was more black and white. Whereas women tended to disagree because their rating was a bit more nuanced. Sounds intelligent to me. And the manosphere men, they like to use this as proof that their rating system is more valid, is more logical, because it's very black and white. But you could also argue that a more nuanced way of looking at things is more intelligent and therefore more valid. We can look at this either way, babes. And I think if we must rate people, a better question to ask is simply, do I fancy ya? Do I fancy you? Yes or no? This actually, you know what? Bookmark this video because this is one of the very few times when I will say that thoughts, feelings are binary or should be binary. Because do I fancy you, yes or no, is a much better way to judge my attractiveness of you. It doesn't matter if I think you're a 10 out of 10. It doesn't matter if you're hotter than my ex. It doesn't matter if you have a crooked smile and this man over here has straight white teeth. It doesn't matter. Do I fancy you, yes or no? Because that allows us to account for a very real thing which is the non-physical attributes and the emotional connection. All of which adds to attraction more so than just nitpicking. Oh, your nose. Oh, but you're not. Your weight. You're overweight, but you're not the average height. A great article I read summed it up as being more holistic rather than diagnostic. Instead of dinging someone for their flaws, you see them as the sum of their appeal, which sounds more realistic to me. And so, class, the best way to answer this question would be, I choose not to rate myself because it's a flawed system and there is no way for me to get a correct answer. But if you're berated and you have to give an answer, my answer would simply go as follows.
Rate yourself out of 10.
10.
So you think you're perfect?
Yes.
You think you're the hottest girl in the world?
Yes.
Like there's nothing that can be improved?
No.
So wait, if we interviewed all the men in the world, you think they would agree?
I have no control over other people's opinions. That is how I'd answer the question. You answer stupid questions with stupid answers. I hope you're taking notes. Come on, let's go. What do you bring to the table? Why is this a stupid question? Because it's a setup. Somebody that's actually pursuing you already knows what you bring to the table because they've spent time with you. They've made their own judgments in their mind and they've already decided if they like you or they're not. And they don't. And if they do like you, then they know what you bring to the table. And if they don't like you, then they don't feel like you bring enough. Or maybe you bring something back to the table. It's as simple as that. The two main problems with this question are, it's usually a follow-up question from the whole, well, I'm providing financially, so what are you bringing to the table? Or is usually done in response to a woman who thinks highly of herself. Like, you might say some nice things about yourself, blah, blah, blah.
But what do you bring to the table?
And so once again, it, boys and girls, is a setup. Whatever you answer, you will be met with a rebuttal that discounts your worth. I repeat, whatever your answer, you will, 10 times out of 10, be met with an answer that tries to discount your value. I'm educated.
Well, men don't care about that.
I cook and I clean.
But I could pay somebody I could buy a housekeeper and I could buy a maid.
I provide emotional support.
Well, I could pay somebody, I could get a therapist.
You see, there is no correct answer because a correct answer is not what they were after. And in this instance, I would simply flip the question on them and say, sir, what would you like me to bring to the table? And watch them stumble. Because they don't have an answer. They ain't got the answers. They just wanted you to say anything and they would not equate it as being equally as valuable as bringing financial provision. And even if you said, well, I bring financial provision too, they say, but men don't care about that. I don't know why that was an old man, but they don't care about that. There's no answer to this. Whoever initiated. Oh, before we go, I have a bonus question because I don't know if this is new. It feels new to me because I feel like I've seen it pop up and I never used to hear this question asked before. But the question I've seen asked is, how much do you expect your man to pay for an engagement ring? That is the question that these lovely ladies who are just out on a night out, they get stopped on the street and they get asked, how much do you expect him to pay for an engagement ring? That's the question. How much do you expect him to pay for an engagement ring? How much do you expect him to pay for an engagement ring? So we already know that engagement rings were just created as this like fake tradition to sell more diamonds, probably by some PR company or some diamond company or somebody made it up. It's not something that has a rich, obviously most traditions are man-made, but like it doesn't even have a richness. It doesn't even have the forefathers of such and such land. It's just a PR move. And so with that said, there are no rules. Now, do I like that tradition? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do like it. But seeing as it holds no real weight, it's not like a family tradition or a cultural tradition. It's just meh. The sentiment still stands that there are no rules. There's also this saying that it should cost 3 months' salary. If that's feasible, if in the time that it's taken you to think about this proposal and to plan for this proposal, you've managed to save the equivalent of 3 months' salary, great, go for it, indulge. But the number, the value, the $, pound sign figure, in and of itself doesn't matter.
Oh, so it can be a ring from a gumball machine? You wouldn't mind if you bought you a ring from a gumball machine?
No, Brad. It can't be a ring from a gumball machine because a ring from a gumball machine tells me that you put no thought, no effort whatsoever, and Brad, you're being obtuse because you know that it can't be a ring from a gumball machine. Because like any gift, the ones that we tend to appreciate the most are the ones that come with a lot of thought, sentiment, and effort. And in the case of a ring, the effort might equate to to value because you've maybe looked into things like cut, clarity, carat, color, whatever the C's are. And so yes, because of the economics of rings, it might equate to an expensive ring, but the number, the value itself, it doesn't really make sense to say it has to cost X amount, especially if you don't know who is buying you the ring. Like, so if you're asking this to a single woman who doesn't know who's buying her the ring, I don't know, because I don't know I don't know how much money they have. Are they a millionaire? Are they on 30k? All these things need to be factored in and discussed even between the two of you. So once again, it's a stupid question. Question is unanswerable. And so I'd answer it with, I don't know. I guess whatever he can afford, with a little bit of effort sprinkled on, or a lot of effort. For the astute members of the classroom, you may have noticed this whole thing was a trick. You cannot trick me! None of these questions can be answered, and therefore none of these questions should be answered. They are simply cheap stumbling blocks designed and used by incels to try and prove that you have no value, that you can bring no value, that you give no value, that you are of no value. And so when and if you are approached by such questions, do not engage. Turn around and walk the other way. If you see it on social media, do not comment. Keep scrolling. If you see any, do not engage. All right, that's all we have time for today, class. A stars for everyone. Unless you're not subscribed, then you get a D. Like, comment, subscribe.